On this episode of the Massive Agent Podcast, I'm going to tell you why I think realtors need to be friending and following their local competitors, other realtors, other loan officers in their local area.
The Massive Agent Podcast, with lead generation tips and strategies to get you more leads and sell more homes.
I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate.
Wait a minute.
The leads are weak. You're weak.
I've had better.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Here's your host, Dustin Brohm.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 102 of the Massive Agent Podcast. This is honestly the second time I've recorded this because I had a recording screw up earlier where I selected the wrong mic and it was recording nothing. So basically I got a practice run. So this here is just, this is twice as good as the one before. So if this episode is this bad, just imagine. Welcome to the show, guys. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you are getting some work done and being productive during this crazy time of year. There's so much going on, family stuff, holidays, distractions, food, you name it. So hope you're being productive and staying healthy as best you can. If you are new to the show, welcome. My name is Dustin Brohm. I'm a realtor in Salt Lake City, Utah with EXP. I've been an agent for just over 9 years. I'm a national speaker, trainer, and real estate marketing coach. I talk about and train on all things real estate marketing, social media, lead generation, pretty much everything that I talk about on the show over the last 102 episodes. I'm the host of the Industry Connected podcast, co-founder and director of business development of the Industry Syndicate, real estate's media network, and the founder of the Massive Agent Society. That is our one agent per market lead generation training and coaching program / online course. And you can find out if your market is even available and the details over at massiveagentsociety.com. And today, I'm going to talk about why so many agents and lenders think that they should not let their competitors follow them, that they shouldn't be liking their competitors' pages, that they don't want their competitors liking their pages. They don't want to be friends with any local competitors on social media. I'll explain why, because I thought that way for a long time, like at least half my career. What's crazy, if you've been listening to the show for a while, once I started to actually do the opposite and started to build relationships, my career took off, everything took off, and I'll go over why specifically. And so I'll get into all that because I see this all the time. It's kind of exhausting, but I have to remind myself that I used to think that way, because it makes sense. Unless you have the context, unless you're really thinking about it in a different way, naturally you're like, well, I don't want, like, if I have this amazing post, I don't want one of my competitors to see it. First off, this thought of competitors, even though yes, obviously they're competitors, and I'm not saying to be stupid and to let everyone know every little thing that you're doing. But just stop thinking of them as competitors. They're fellow agents. They're partners. They really are. When was the last time that you did a transaction with yourself? Sure, you could double-sided deal if you can do that in your state. I know, but for the most part, like, if you're representing the seller, you need someone to represent the buyer, right? Like, they're a partner in the transaction. You're both trying to get the deal closed. They're not a competitor in that situation now, are they? So why do they have to be in all other areas? I'll go into it. I want to give a shout out to and a special thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Easy Agent Pro. They are one of my absolute favorite vendors and service providers in our industry. Easy Agent Pro makes some of the best damn websites for agents and loan officers that I've ever seen. They're the ones who do my website. I have been a customer of theirs. I am still today a paid customer. I've been using them for so long, and I've looked at going to other website providers, but there's no better value in our industry. And you have to have a website. As an agent or a lender, you have to have that online business card, that online, like, home base, so to speak. Social media and everything, yeah, you need those profiles, but you should all have it funneling to your website. because you own that. You own your domain name, you own your website. Anytime somebody Googles you, or they you're referred to somebody, or they hear your name, or they see one of your ads, they're going to Google you. What are they going to find? Make sure that you have a great website, but you don't want to have to recreate the wheel. You don't want to have to, or you don't know how to, like me, you don't know how to recreate a new website. You don't need to. Just hire Easy Agent Pro. They have something for you. They'll build it for you. It's very modern. It looks great. It works well. It's fast. It captures leads very, very well. You just need to get one. So if you don't have a website, thankfully, our friends at Easy Agent Pro are running a pretty awesome special for the month of December. They did a Black Friday deal, and they've extended it for the whole month. And so for the month of December 2019, you can get started for $1. The first month and the setup is $1. Get an Easy Agent Pro website today for just $1. It eliminates that barrier to entry, the barrier to getting started. And then after that, it's only like $160 a month, depending on the website plan you get. But it's extremely affordable. And for listeners of this show, make sure you enter discount code Dustin. You'll get the setup fee waived. It'll only be $1 to start for the first month, just $1. And you'll get their new CRM for free for the first 12 months. But you must use discount code Dustin at checkout. That's how they track it. That's how they that will give you the CRM, so you're not paying extra for it. So super cool. Brand new agents, brand new loan officers. This is the perfect package that you've been looking for, to have everything under one roof that works great, great value. It continues to get better. Easy Agent Pro, thank you for supporting the show. And guys, make sure we go support them to show them that we appreciate them supporting us. All right. If you read the title of the show today, or heard the intro, you're like, why the hell would I want to become Facebook friends with other agents in town? Well, I'm going to tell you why most agents don't, and then I'll get into why I think they're wrong, and you really should. At least if you want to grow, if you want to have success, if you want to have an enjoyable career and a fruitful one, you should be. So why agents don't is they see everyone else in town, everyone in the market, as competitors. And they approach it, whether it's conscious or not, with a scarcity mindset. When you see another agent as a competitor, and you are worried that if you're friends with them on social media, that they will see what you're doing and potentially take your clients, that is not a winning mindset. But most of us, because we don't think about it that much, we don't think about really what's behind that line of thinking, so we don't ever challenge it. Well, challenge it. I'm challenging it for you. Okay? What you're saying there is if Sally, if you're Facebook friends with Sally, and you put out a post, you do a video, you do a piece of content, whatever, and it's so amazing. People weep tears of joy when they read your article or watch your video because it's just fan-frickin-tastic, right? Let's say that that's the case. And then Sally, the agent on the other side of town, who you accidentally let become Facebook friends with you, horrifying thought, I know. They were a secret agent. You didn't realize they were an agent because they didn't put it anywhere on their profile, which is another problem. Don't be a secret agent. I mean, if I can't tell that you're a real estate agent or a lender, if I can't tell what you do, nobody else can. So there's kind of a hint to audit your profiles. So Sally sees your post. And first off, how often do people take action, right? I mean, so let's say Sally sees something, like, oh, that's a great idea. That video that Dustin just did was so fantastic. I'm going to do it. Well, how many people will actually ever do it? The vast majority never do shit. You know that. It's not just an agent thing. It's a human thing. It's a human nature thing. Most people see great ideas. They think, I'm going to do that. They put it on a to-do list, and then they don't do it. So, I mean, that eliminates 90% of people right there who just won't ever do it, no matter what. But then there's also, okay, we're going off the scarcity mindset here, but unpacking what's behind it and how ridiculous it is. So let's say the 10% of the 10% of agents out there, and Sally's one of them, okay? The 10% of agents who will see your post and will actually do it, maybe they do it, maybe they don't even do it as well as you, okay? Maybe that doesn't even matter because the people who are watching your video in your network, they are following you because of you. They're following you because they like you, your personality. They think you're likable. If Sally does the exact same thing as you, Sally did it in her way. They might not like that. That may not resonate with them. They might like her more. Who knows? Who the hell cares? Right? It's just so absurd. I've said this before. You've heard me say this before. I'll say it again because I believe this at my core and I know this to be a fact. Sometimes the best client is the client you never work with. So let's say Sally does post something and there's some overlap, like you have some mutual friends. She posts something and a mutual friend likes hers better and decides to hire Sally. Okay, cool. Like, that's awesome. First off, you'd never know that. You're never going to be able to trace it back to what the hell happened. And there's always more to it than just this magical post. And if that's the case, they weren't meant to work with you. What if that client who went to work with Sally, you wouldn't have gotten along with them? Maybe they wanted to see 493 properties before making an offer, and they waste a year and a half of your time because they just weren't serious, and you, for whatever reason, didn't let them go, right? By them going for Sally, and I'm assuming a lot of premises here that I don't even agree with. I'm just humoring this mindset. I'm humoring this whole way of thinking, just for argument's sake, to show you how ridiculous it is. So Sally takes they work with Sally. Now you've been freed up to work with other clients. So maybe Sally's time is being occupied by this high maintenance client or someone who's just whatever. Now you can go work with better clients because you are going to attract the right people for you, people who like you and want to hire you and work with you. That's amazing. That's how you have a more enjoyable career, is by working with the people who want to work with you. Okay, so let it go. Don't even worry about it. And I know there's this notion out there that, so this is very outdated, that if you like another agent's Facebook page, if you like their page, then they can now target your audience, your network, your friends with Facebook ads. Womp womp. Yeah, they could. But they could do that anyways. They could do that anyways. All right? I mean, because that's how Facebook ads work. Like, people meet certain criteria, they're going to see an ad. It doesn't matter who they're connected with. So that now is just a non-issue. It used to be a few years ago that, sure, you could actually, in the targeting options, select, and you still can, but it's just redundant and unnecessary now. You could say, I only want this ad to be seen by friends of friends, right? So it's not just your agent. Like if Sally was running the ad, you liked their page, so now your friends, okay, friends of friends could be seen. Like they're seen anyways. It's just not an issue. All right. So that in and of itself is absurd. Just get over it. All right. Now let's talk about the upside here. Why you should be friending everybody. How this all plays off the basic psychology. And I am not a psychology expert, but I do have some common sense and I know a couple things, as do you. Is it better? Like, does the human mind prefer familiarity or unfamiliarity? Obviously, the human mind prefers familiarity, okay, for pretty much everything. So, if you do decide to take my advice today and open up and you're like, all right, I'm just going to start accepting these friend requests and actively friend requesting other agents in my market because Dustin says it's a good idea. I don't really believe him. I think he's full of shit, but I'm going to do it anyways. And you start doing it, and all of a sudden you're now friending these other agents. Well, over time, as you live your life and they live theirs, you start seeing their posts, they see yours, and they become familiar. You get to know that it's not like they're becoming your best friends, but they could. They certainly could, which is an amazing, amazing thing if that happens. But over time, you get to know certain names, okay? Because they're in your friends list, you see their stuff over and over and over. Maybe you never even talk back and forth. Like maybe you never engage with their stuff, they never engage with yours, but you at least know the name and the face. All of a sudden, you are representing a buyer. You go to make an offer on a listing, and the listing agent is a Facebook friend of yours. You've been Facebook friends for 8 months, okay? And you submit an offer along with 12 other offers. There's 12 other buyers in the running, but the listing agent knows you. Okay, they know your name. They're like, hey, we're Facebook friends. That familiarity right there gives you a huge leg up. A huge leg up, because now instead of all these other strangers, and I'm not even talking about the terms of the offers themselves, but just by looking at who is the agent that's submitting it, you now have a leg up before they even look at the terms of the offer, because they know you, you're familiar, you're not a stranger. And if they're still friends with you, and they're, if you're still friendly and connected on social, that means they probably like you to a certain extent. That's a good thing. So now you're able to go in. Let's assume you came with a strong offer, and there's some other strong offers, and they're all fairly comparable. You talk to them on the phone, and they already have a certain level of respect, and they already like you to a certain extent. And you say now, this buyer is very strong. Here's their motivation. Their lender's great. You're telling them all the stuff you would be telling a stranger, but you're telling it to someone who knows you or knows of you. You've had interactions with. They trust you more. Now they're going to go to their client, and they're going to have more confidence in you and your buyer because of it. I've seen it. It's happened to me. You've probably had it happen, but I've had it happen on both sides. I've been able to get deals under contract and get offers accepted in similar situations just because I knew the listing agent, and it helped me in a little psychological way to have more credibility with my offer and what I say about the client and what I say about the offer. Hopefully you know what I'm saying. So that helps. That in and of itself helps a ton. That's not something that is really tangible until it happens. So go friend everybody. Go friend everybody. Here's what also happens when you become friends with other agents. You become friends with other agents. Okay, you're building your friends. Sometimes this can be a very lonely business. Very lonely business. Especially if you're like me and locally, like outside of social media, I'm over in the corner, head down, doing my thing, getting work done, doing things my way. I don't care about the local politics. I don't care about, this clique or that clique. I don't care about, all of that stuff. I don't care about going into an office and that social thing. I just don't. So, if I didn't have connections with these other agents on social media, I wouldn't have local real estate friends. But having local real estate friends, how great is that to get together and bounce ideas off each other? And even if it's just like to blow off steam and complain for a minute and talk about this asshole appraiser that you just dealt with, or this terrible lender, or a nightmare client, or your friend Susie tells you about her nightmare client, like that can be super valuable. You're building friendships. That is not a small thing. When you do that, when you have other friends in the industry who eventually and from time to time you do deals with, that makes the industry, that makes our jobs that much more enjoyable. If we're just working with strangers all the time and there's never, if they're just people, they're just numbers, like, whatever, just names on paper, it's not as enjoyable as if you have relationships with them. So that is a big deal. If you make this business more enjoyable and more fun, are you going to be more successful? Of course. Of course. These are all little things that add up to be a very big, very powerful thing. Not to mention, when you are connecting with other local agents, you are now getting rid of the scarcity mindset. You're completely getting rid of that scarcity mindset. You've switched it from scarcity to abundance, to where they're no longer a competitor, but they just happen to do the same thing, and they could be a partner and an ally in a lot of situations. Yes, obviously I know, technically they're competitors, but so what? Having healthy competition is a fantastic thing. It makes you bring your A game. It makes them bring their A game. It makes you better. It makes them better. I could rattle off a bunch of sports analogies here, but I won't. But the competition is great, and it's fantastic for the consumer. If you are being forced to get better, as is your competitor, you're getting better. And that's a great thing for the consumer. Whoever hires you is getting a better agent than they would have 2 years ago because you've grown because of healthy competition. You see where I'm going with this? So, abundance, guys. There are so many deals to go around. Don't be so closed off, because I'm a firm believer that what you focus on expands. The law of attraction. Okay, there's a million different ways to say it, and there's a million different ways I've heard it said, but you get what you think about all day long. You become what you think about all day long. I don't know if you've ever heard The Strangest Secret from Earl Nightingale, but basically the gist of it is, and go get the book. You need the context for sure. But the Cliff's Notes of the Cliff's Notes is you become what you think about all day long. Your mindset and the law of attraction is real. The law of attraction is just as real as the law of gravity. So when you flip that to realizing, I don't care if they see my video and decide to do one of their own. I don't care if they like the topic of the blog post I did and decide to do one of their own. So what? There's an endless number of deals out there. I don't care what town you're in. Go look at all the rooftops. Go look at every property and realize that every time a property sells, there's two sides. There's two different sides to the transaction. And how often do properties sell? Like if it's a single family home, my past clients seem to be selling every 3 to 5 years. So let's go with 5 years. Okay. So every 5 years, a property could potentially sell. When it does, there's two sides. Not all properties are selling at the same time now, are they? So there's a constant, endless supply of deals. Even the biggest top producers in your market probably only have single-digit market share. Let's say they have 10% market share, and 1 out of 10 homes is sold by this dude or that lady or their team, right? Awesome. That means there's 90% of the market is available for you to take. And how many deals can you do at any one time anyways? There's very few agents or teams that can do 1,000 deals a year, right? I think I've heard of a handful, right? Maybe there's more. I don't know. But 1,000 deals a year. Can you do 1,000 deals a year? Do you want to? I mean, most of you are probably like, hell yeah, I want to. If all of a sudden that came to you, could you handle it? Do you have the systems in place? Do you have the team to handle it? No one agent can do that. So you need a support staff, obviously. So there's more than enough to go around. You guys have heard Ricky Carruth. He's been on this show before, and he's a real estate coach, real estate speaker. He's the number one RE/MAX agent in Alabama and has been for like 97 straight years or something. I don't know. The guy kills it, selling over 100 homes per year as a solo agent. And his big thing that I really respect him for getting out there into the industry is business is unlimited for every single agent. And I fully buy into that. I fully agree with his premise. I fully agree with where he's coming from, because at any given time, we can go out and get as many deals as we can. And then there's another listing that comes on the market tomorrow. There's another potential buyer to work with tomorrow. And it just keeps happening and keeps happening and keeps happening. So business is unlimited. The only limits are the limits that you give it. Once you can switch your mindset over, and you have to force yourself to do that. Like, you can't just be like, I'm gonna have an abundance mindset now. If it was that easy, Tony Robbins wouldn't exist. Ed Milet wouldn't exist. Robin Sharma, John Maxwell, all these guys, they wouldn't exist because I'll just be positive now. I'll just have a success mindset now. It's not that easy. You have to consciously work at it. And one of the best things to do is to just stop looking at your local agents as competitors. Friend them. Build relationships with them. Follow them. Learn from them. Okay, ever since I opened up to befriending other agents, and most of it happened nationally, and then it started happening locally as well, I built some of the best friendships I have, some of the strongest business and personal relationships I have were built through the industry with others who are quote unquote competitors. But I became friends with them. It makes life and business more enjoyable, and I learn things that they're doing well that I never would have considered. You start networking with other agents locally, same thing's going to happen to you. You're going to learn stuff that they're doing well, and they're going to learn stuff that you're doing well. And a rising tide lifts all ships. It's absolutely worth doing. And since business is unlimited, right, you don't have to worry about it. Collaboration is so much more powerful than this competitive, and I'm not talking healthy competition. I'm talking about the unhealthy kind. Collaboration is so much more powerful than competition. If you're like trying to hold your cards close to the vest and you don't want other agents to see what you're doing because they're going to steal your ideas and steal your clients, is that coming from a place of power? Nope. Is that a winning mindset? Nope. But if you're like, hey, everybody, I'm Dustin. Let's be friends. Let me learn from you. You learn from me. Let's trade ideas. Let's talk about this. Let's, do you have any homes coming up in the next 3 weeks that meet these criteria? No? Well, okay. Well, I have one coming up. Does anyone like that? Then it becomes this big community and you're all going to be more successful and enjoy it. I'm telling you guys, and if you've been listening to the show for a while, you've heard my story. When I started networking with other agents outside my market and within, it changed my life forever. It changed my business. It opened up so many doors. I learned so much more than I ever thought possible, and business became fun again. This business became much more enjoyable because I was doing it with friends and colleagues instead of a bunch of competitors that I couldn't ever talk to. If you really zoom out and take a step back, if you have been looking at other agents locally as competitors and you've been trying to isolate yourself and insulate yourself and what you're doing from them, zoom out. I hope you realize how ridiculous it is and how counterproductive it is. And the last thing I'll say about this too, we tend to look at things as they are today. Just because let's say we add 100 other local agents on Facebook and we follow them on Instagram and LinkedIn and we're connected all over social media. 100 other agents who an hour ago you thought were competitors, now you see them as potential allies and friends and partners, so you connect with them, right? If you're still worried that, oh my God, like, I don't know, like I still might lose a deal to them. Well, okay, but they might lose a deal to you too, right? They might lose a deal to you. If you have that mentality, then I want you to be self-aware. I want you to recognize what's happening here. You lack confidence. You have a serious lack of confidence. If you think that if another agent sees what you're doing, they're going to do it better than you and steal your business, you lack confidence. That is a problem. But it's only a problem if you don't do anything about it. It's only a problem if you aren't aware of it and you keep operating like you are the shit when you don't really think you're the shit. You know what I'm saying? So be aware of that. Hopefully, if nothing else, if you got nothing else from this show, I hope now, if you're like, oh my God, that's actually me. Like, holy crap, I didn't even realize I lack confidence because I'm worried about all these things. Now you can address it. Congratulations. If you do lack confidence, welcome to the club. I lack confidence in a lot of ways. I'm insecure in a lot of ways. I'm extremely confident and extremely secure in a lot of other ways. Like, that's just being a human. It's okay. But you just have to know. So, look, you become friends with other agents. Sure, you could lose a deal to one of them. Sure, it could potentially happen. I don't think it's really feasible. I think it's kind of absurd for all the reasons I've talked about. But let's say you do, okay. But they could also lose a deal to you. Okay, if we're going to accept the premise that connecting with other agents means a potential loss of transactions to one of your competitors, then they could lose them to you too. Hopefully you see it that way. Hopefully you see that if you go into a listing presentation and they're interviewing 5 other agents, they have to pick one. Why can't it be you? Why can't you deliver what the seller actually wants and show them how much exposure you're going to get them, because you're a killer marketer and you know Facebook ads and you know how to get them in front of 50,000 new eyeballs that the other agents don't even know where to start. You know what I mean? You can win too. You need to think higher of yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, jump into some personal development. Tony Robbins, John Maxwell, Ed Milet. Listen to Ed Milet's podcast. Ed Milet is freaking fantastic, and he seems like one of the nicest, most decent guys ever. And the guy is worth almost $1 billion. Super, super successful. And Ed Milet is fantastic. I'm a huge Ed Milet fan. If you need to work on your mindset, which we all do, tune into Ed Milet. Follow him on Instagram. Just consume everything you can from him and Tony Robbins, and also start educating yourself on the market. Educate yourself on market stats and, like the median home price in this neighborhood versus median home price in this zip code and that one. And once you know that and you're prepared for any potential question, you might not ever get asked, but you'll be confident because you know if you do get asked, you have the answer. That is a huge confidence builder. And then just go out and talk to more people and do more deals. And every time you do, and be okay with not knowing everything. I don't care how long you've been in the business. You don't know everything. You never will. It's not how it works. Shit's always changing. So accept that and then do your best to learn new things every single day. That's it. So before I totally squirreled and had another one of my, went off on a totally different path. And I was talking about how if you friend request and you connect with 100 other agents in your market, and we're thinking about things as they are today. If you're still worried that you might lose business to them, here's the thing. You're thinking about it from today. Because you're implementing the stuff we talk about every single week on the show, you have joined the Massive Agent Society and you're implementing this and you're getting leads coming in and you have a great follow-up plan and you're following up for years, however long it takes, and you're doing it consistently month after month. You're going to grow your business. You're going to stick around because your head is not in your ass. You know what's happening in the industry. You're honest and you have your eyes wide freaking open. If you listen to this show and if you listen to the show on a regular basis, you have your eyes open. Congratulations. And so what that means is 3 years from now, maybe 9 months from now, some of those other agents who are currently agents might not be agents. Okay, 9 months from now, whenever, because as you know, their agents are jumping in and out of the business all the time. It's a very tough business. It takes a lot of work, and you have to wear not just so many hats, you have to wear all of the hats in your business until you can get to a certain point to outsource things. And so you befriend these 100 other agents. How many of them will even be an agent 2 years from now? Let's say 30%, let's say 10% are not. Okay, 90% stayed in, 10% are no longer agents. Well, guess what? You're still connected. They know that you're still doing business. You're friends now, or at least acquaintances. They see your stuff, right? Well, now they could be referring their business to you because they're not in the business anymore. It's so easy to think about how things are today. And we forget, what if I did this today? What would that mean 2 years from now or 5 years from now? Befriend as many local agents as possible because a lot of them will not be agents in a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And you will start getting referrals from them because they're no longer active. And when their past clients need somebody, you become the first agent they think of because you were cool. You stayed top of mind. You stayed friendly. They like you. They trust you. They're going to refer their clients to you. That right there. Well, all of it. If this hasn't convinced you to just start friend requesting local agents like crazy, then you're crazy. And I'm sorry that you still, after all of this, won't get out of your own way. Because ultimately, if you're still not convinced, if you still are thinking, yeah, but you are in your own way. You're telling yourself a story. It's unfortunate that you chose to do that. I feel like I'm talking to my 5-year-old. It's like, this is a choice. It's unfortunate. It's sad that you're choosing this choice, but you can choose a different choice. Like, it really is that basic, guys. It really is that basic. I want success for you. I don't ever want you to have to struggle financially the way I have. I don't want you to have to stress your family out and strain your relationships and ruin your credit and all sorts of other crap that I've done and that many other entrepreneurs have done. I don't want you to have to do that if you don't need to. But you have to change. Like, if you don't change anything, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. How are you going to get anything different if you keep doing what you've always done? Make the changes. Flip that mindset. And it could start by just befriending other agents in your local market, especially outside your market. Become friends with as many other agents as you possibly can. Business gets good. Business grows. You enjoy it more. You learn more. You flip your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance and collaboration, and you're off to the races. It really, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not super easy. It's not super complicated, but it's simple. You just have to do it. Well, thanks for sticking in with me, guys. I know I really hammered those points home, but they're important. We're going into the last month of the decade. What are they going to call the next decade? Like the 20s, I guess? Like, I don't know what the hell else they'd call them. Yeah, I guess they're going to be the 20s. So we're going into the 20s. That sounds so weird. We're approaching the 20s. And so this is around the time of the year where we're all setting goals and saying, I'm going to have the best year ever next year. Well, are you really? Are you really? I say that too, but then I reflect and I'm like, well, what am I actually implementing now? What am I actually changing and improving on so that will allow me to have the best year ever? Because I'm not going to have the best year ever if I'm doing the same old shit, unless I'm doing it very, very well and I have things dialed in. But even still, you still have to adjust. You still have to adjust. And if you're doing well, why not do better? Why not do a little bit more? Why not add an additional thing if you've mastered everything else? If you're so freaking amazing and you've mastered everything, well, then why not master something else too, right? If you mastered everything, you can master something else. Hopefully that was helpful to somebody. I don't know who needed to hear this, but yeah, see what I did there? Guys, thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope that you really do turn the corner for 2020 and not just have the best year ever, but an amazing year where everything changes. I want you in a few years to look back at 2020 as the year where everything happened for you, where it finally clicked, whatever that means to you, whatever clicked means. That could be financial. It could be with your social life. It could be with your family. It could be with whatever. Maybe all of the above. I want that for you. I'm planning that for myself and my family, and I want that for as many of you as possible. And so if you're still listening after all of that, then you can do it. You're one of the people that can actually make it happen. Because you've obviously, if you're still listening to Dustin ramble and beat a dead horse, I think it's an important horse that needs to be beaten. We should beat the shit out of this important horse until we just can't beat it anymore. Wow. If you're still listening, that means you're really committed. You're interested. You're hungry. You're thirsty for something new or encouragement or something. You're the person that can make it happen. You can do it. And so I want to see that happen for you. Please implement what you've learned. Please implement the thoughts in your head. Please implement the ideas that you've just put down on paper. Whatever your goals are for 2020, make them happen. Start doing things that will eventually get you to those goals. You can't just set a goal and then not do things that get you there, because that's not how it works. So I want to throw this out there. I'll probably post about it sometime this week, just to gauge interest. So it's interesting. It's really interesting how things happen for a reason, I don't know if I believe in coincidence. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that deeply about things, but it's weird when like all within a short period of time, like in a matter of 36 hours, a few different people ask, "Hey, would you do an in-person workshop? Would you do like?" I had 3 different people in a 36-hour period. They're like, "Hey, if I flew to you, like, could we do a full day workshop, like on Facebook ads or on like setting up my business plan or like my content plan? Like, could we do that in person?" And so I've never really thought about doing this big event. I mean, I've thought about it, but it's not something I have bandwidth for. What I could do, if there's interest, and I don't know how much this would cost, but if we did a 1 day, possibly a 2 day, but right now I'm thinking let's just do a 1 full day in-person workshop in Salt Lake City. I'd probably limit it to like 10 or 12 people. Just depends on how much it's going to cost. And honestly, full transparency, if I was going to do something like that for a group, I want to make sure that it's worth my time, right? My time is valuable. I need to be compensated for it. And any time I'm spending doing something, anytime I'm doing something means I can't be doing something else. So there's the opportunity cost. So like, it's not going to be a $49 thing, unfortunately, but it's not going to be a $10,000 thing either. But I guess what I'm saying is, if I did an in-person workshop where only 10 or 12-ish people could come in person in Salt Lake City, and we'd have a stated goal, it'd be like in-person personalized coaching and guidance and strategizing to implement whatever it is you're trying to do. I don't know if we would do like, okay, this workshop would be specifically for Facebook advertising. This one would be for developing a content plan. This one would be for starting a podcast and a show and branding it. I don't know. Or maybe we just all get together and just have one big mastermind. I don't know. But if this sounds interesting to you, if you'd like to do an in-person thing in Salt Lake City with me and 9, 10, 11 others, let me know. Shoot me a message on Instagram and say, "Hey, I'm interested." Yeah, if there's interest, if there's serious interest, not just people like, "Oh, I'd come," and really not have any interest. You know what I mean? If there's real interest, I will start putting some plans together to make that happen. It's not going to be big. It's not going to be fancy. It's not going to be an event, but a workshop I could absolutely do. If we did it 1 day, it would keep the cost down for you guys. So you're not needing a bunch of, you don't need multiple nights of hotel, all that stuff. That's what I'm thinking. So let me know if you'd be interested. And if there is interest in that, I could start crunching the numbers to see what we could do it for, what would make sense. I want it to make sense for you guys financially. I want it to make sense for myself and my business financially. And so love to hear from you if that is of interest. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. And if you are looking for more, if you want to take control, learn how to become a master and take control of your own ability to get new leads, then you really need to look into the Massive Agent Society. If you want to find out if your market is even available, go to massiveagentsociety.com. There are 70 or so markets that are not available, but there's thousands of markets in the United States, thank God. So go check it out. And if your market is available, details are on the website as well. Ultimately, it is our lead generation training and support and coaching program. It's part online course, part coaching and mentoring, part accountability, and part Facebook ads, copy and paste database to get you some quick wins, to get some leads in right now. It's the full thing. Everything you need. It's not about just the leads. It's about how to turn the leads over time through follow-up and persistence into clients and closings. So go check it out, massiveagentsociety.com. I'm super proud of that program, super proud of the results that our members have been getting. And so if that sounds like something you're looking for, if you're a new agent who is looking for something to latch onto to start really focusing on, it's great for you. It's great for an agent that is sick of relying on a team leader or a broker or a brokerage or Zillow or any outside person or entity for leads. If you're sick of relying on someone, if you're sick of not having control over your ability to get leads, this is for you. If you are, and loan officers as well, it's not just an agent thing. But if you're willing to put in some time and make an investment of time and money and do it for 6 months or so, this is for you. This is not for anyone looking for the magic bullet. It's not for anyone who's looking to spend a couple $100, run an ad for a week, and get 6 closings from it. Not realistic. It's not even worth your time. If that's all you want from it, if you don't want to really master how to control your own lead gen, then it's not for you. Save your money. Go spend it somewhere else. But it's not for you. But go check it out, massiveagentsociety.com. If that is for you, we'd love to have you, assuming your market is available. Hit me up on Instagram through DM if you have any questions, or you could email me, dustin@massiveagent.com. Thank you so much for listening, guys. I'm really interested to hear your feedback on the in-person workshop in Salt Lake. We've limited it, like I said, to 10 to 12 people to keep it fairly intimate so it doesn't get out of hand. And we'll see if that happens. Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy. Make sure you check out Industry Connected and the Industry Syndicate mobile app. If you have not downloaded it yet, go get it from Google Play or the App Store and check out all the other amazing real estate industry podcasts and video shows on it. And it's truly a collection of the best in the industry, and it's just getting better. We have a bunch of new shows we're about to bring on board and unveil and launch, so stay tuned. We are a proud founding member of the Industry Syndicate Media Network, and this has been the Massive Agent Podcast. Thank you, guys. Take care.